Yeah, so he disappeared in the dead of winters. The brooks were frozen, the airports almost deserted. By hearing the airport and statues, we might feel like it is the modern elegy. Yes, so it is by W.H. Auden, and it's in the memory of uh, Yeats. So, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dhvani Rajaguru, and today I'm going to deal with comparative study of ancient Greek elegy versus modern Greek elegy, modern elegy. This is my personal information. So, before understanding the elegy, let's have the Glingy and epic poem. According to M.H. Abrams and Cambridge Dictionary, what is the epitaph? A short piece of writing or a poem about a dead person, especially for one on the written on the gravestone of the dear one, or and the another is dirge. What is dirge? The dirge is all death. So it is longer than epitaph and shorter than elegy. It is also sometimes seems very similar to the epitaph, and it is Shakespeare's Full Fathom 5, Thy Father Lies, and William Collins, a song from Shakespeare, Cymbeline. And what is epic poem? Epic poem is long poem. It is long verse narrative on a serious subject told in a formal or elevated style and center or the heroic or quasi divine figure on which the actions depend on the fate of a tribe. So that is mostly of all the time it is long poem. The epic poem. And now, what is still any poem written? It is mostly the hexameter or the pentameter lines. And this term it is around the 7th century BC. Mime Nerimus of Colophon began to use this form, rhythm, and form of elegiac verse for the other topics. In particular, with its inherent rhetoric quality, many Latin and Greek poets used this form. So the ancient Greek elegy was not actually given name of the elegy. It was used by the Ovid, Tibullus, Messala, Tiresias, Solon. So these were using it. It was not specifically for the dead person. It was for many. It has the wide aspect in the elegy. And in this first century, Ovid wrote a number of elegies about his exile, which he linked it to a death. And Tibullus also written elegies which were dedicated under time. The elegy was not that in fashion. After the fall of Roman Empire, the elegy fell out of a fashion, but instead of becoming lost, it found a new genre, a new poetic form in the modern time, especially Milton's Lycidas or John Donne's elegies. These are very famous in 16th century and 17th century. And this is also we can found in the book or Old English Exeter book, in which the number of formal elegies are given. The topics are given in that book, and this is give the name the elegies. There is a specific word used by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. He defines elegy as serious meditative poems. Use of elegy. What is the use of the elegy? It is a sorrowful term, can be considered as elegy mostly about the dead, as I told you before, and many times is not about the dead. In the Greek time, it was for the cheering the people who were going to fight in the battle, and is now it is specifically about loss, and many intentionally use for the first person pronoun I. Elegies are mostly written in the first person narrator, because somebody is talking about his friend, the person who is written, the author or poet writing elegy is dedicating somebody, so the feelings are connected with it. So always elegies are in written in first person, and so that's why it's not focusing on the many people, but rather than larger issue, it's only affecting the specific person or very small group of number. Now, the difference between ancient elegy and the modern elegy. In ancient time, before 606, the language was Old English. Elegy, for example, elegies were written for these things, and the authors, the poets, the tirades and solos who wrote this for the social gathering character. Mimnermus was famous for elegies celebrating the pleasures of love and youth. And now, in the modern elegies, the elegies are only written for the serious reflection, the dead person, or the one mourning the loss of someone who died. The another thing, the difference is the form. Ancient Greeks were following forms very strictly, and the original form used by the Greek was defined short syllabus, and this was the structure of ancient Greek elegies. And in the modern time, the contemporary poets uses the not they are not using the specific form, or they are not strict for the forms. For example, Whitman in Van Lilke's Last in the Dooryard Bloomed uses the free verse. Another example is Tennyson's in Memoriam of A.H.H. This is about his friend Arthur Henry Hallam. In this elegy, he is using the iambic tetrameter, and he organized this in the cantos. So the form was strict in the Greek elegy, and the modern Asian poets are using many kind of forms in the elegy. I have taken one example of the ancient Greek elegy. This is poem written in the Greek, and the translation is given here. So now this elegy is in the beginning of the Euripides. This is known as the Andromache. It was first produced sometime between the 5th century BC. And in this elegy, we are about to see the Andromache, who is singing the song for expression of her sorrow, of her misfortunes, what happened and why she has written this elegy. Because her husband Hector has been killed, and this beautiful princess Andromache is writing this poetry, the sorrowful poetry for him, and she is also expressing her fate of becoming the slave of evil princess Hermione. And I have taken the example of modern elegy. This is on death of late famous general, and in this we can see that it is having the satirical comical approach in the poem. And this poem, Jonathan Swift writes that his grace impossible what dead of old H2 and his pet. And this poem's meaning is the death of a late famous general. It is ironically described the life and the death of this honorable, recently that is deceased duke, and the poem begins with the speaker, and it is on the grief over the death of John Churchill. There are many famous examples also in the ancient Greek elegy as well as in the modern Greek elegies. And one beautiful example is this of the modern ancient Greek elegy. And this says that it is about the death of beloved person. It is written for the person who is drawn in the sea, and how beautifully the writer describes the things that the death of beloved drowned in the sea, just as the lungs of drowned man are swollen with the salt water of the sea that has drowned them. The sea has swollen the lungs of the person, and also it is describing the feelings, the self expression of a man. It is the poem is poem 13 of Archilochus, and yeah, another poetries are the Archile elegy, which are having many part in this elegy. So this is the poem which I have described, and the famous modern elegies. As I told, Milton's Lycidas is one of the best elegy in the 18th century. Another is When Lilies Last in the Dorian Bloomed, On My First Son by Ben Jonson, and Adonisis by P.V. Shelley. So these are the modern elegies, and a couple of 20th century contenders of note are Auden's tribute to his contemporary in memory of W.B. Yeats. So which we are studying. So these are the modern elegies. These are my references. Thank you.
So, what is the central difference between ancient elegy and modern elegy? What is the central difference between ancient elegy and modern elegy? What is similarity between modern elegy and Greek elegy?
Similarity is many of the elegies. Obviously, modern yeah. So the similarity between them, as I told you, the theme of the ancient Greek elegies were for the youth, or for the cherishing the love of lover, but it was also for the dead person. So modern elegies are for that mourning of the sorrow, and the ancient elegies also for that.